Hi, my name is Shay, and about a month ago my mother took her own life. Just with the whole Bell Let's Talk campaign, it kind of got me in the mindset of talking and realizing how little I have talked about this, mostly because of the stigma that surrounds suicide and, thinking about all the people who have asked me what happened and, myself playing into that stigma and realizing that if I open up about what happened, then I'm going to have to deal with judgment and questions and just a lot of negativity that surrounds the whole idea of suicide, because suicide is seen as something weak, it's seen as an easy way out, it's seen as this big uncomfortable thing that nobody wants to talk about. And with this whole campaign, it put me in the mindset of, maybe I can make this video and maybe this way everyone who's wondering can know, and then this way I can also address the negativity and the stigma that surrounds suicide so that I don't individually have to speak to every person who's wondering what's been going on. She's not supposed to be up there. So a couple of days ago I went onto YouTube and I literally just typed in parents and suicide because I thought, I can't be the only person that this has happened to, or I can't be the only person who's known someone to have taken their own life. And what I found were a bunch of videos of people talking about their experiences and talking about how they were feeling, and it helped me so much to, because that other people have experienced what you've experienced, but to hear people talk about it, it's just it's a completely different kind of help. It really makes you realize that you're not alone. So my intention with this video is to just become a part of that dialogue, and hoping that if someone is having a hard time or if someone is going through something similar, that maybe they'll watch this and realize they too aren't alone. So yeah, I want to address the stigma and I want to talk about suicide and there's just the stigma that surrounds it, and then I also want to talk about how it's been affecting me since. Also, a lot of people critique the Bell Let's Talk campaign and they say, it's just one day, we should be talking about this every day. And I completely agree, but I also think that this one day is so powerful, and it really does make people want to talk. It's making me want to talk, knowing that, today, or whenever I put this video out tomorrow, I don't know, on the Bell Let's Talk Day, January 31st, knowing that there are going to be so many people who are opening up and sharing their stories, and I don't know about everyone else, I can't speak for everyone else, but for me, it's just like a power in numbers thing, knowing that everyone is going to be opening up, or a lot of people are going to have the courage to open up today, knowing that they're going to have the support and knowing that other people are opening up too. I think it's a really powerful thing, and I understand that critique, but I think this one day gives people the courage to open up and talk about it every day. Anyways, so yeah, my mom's story. I woke up on the morning of December 21st, 2017 to my dad and my sister coming into my room at about 6 in the morning and just saying it word for word, "Mom is dead," and explaining to me what happened. And the events that happened afterward and that are still happening are just filled with confusion and anger and sadness in a cycle that's just being repeated. Because if everyone who knew my mom knew that she was not weak, she was brave, and she loved life, absolutely loved life. And this was completely unexpected, so it's just hit all of us, everyone who knew her. And my counselor, a really, really amazing woman, said to me, suicide is a mass murder, because everyone who has been affected is affected so immensely with that confusion, that anger, and that sadness. So yeah, it's been a journey, and I know for the rest of my life it will be, but having people to talk openly to about it makes a big difference. And as far as the people who stigmatize suicide and who say it's weak or an easy way out, I just think our life is built up of all these moments, and everybody experiences moments where we just can't take it anymore. And that was just a moment for my mom. That's all it was. And all I can think now is whatever she was experiencing in that moment, whatever demons were attacking her mind, I don't know, but she's at peace now, and she's no longer in that awful moment that she was in. And even just saying this now, I'm thinking, oh, it must be uncomfortable for people to listen to, but that's the thing. It shouldn't be uncomfortable to talk about. When people talk about physical illnesses, a lot of people don't get uncomfortable like they do when people talk about mental health. And well, I just think opening up and talking about the hard stuff is really important. So now it's been over a month now, I think 5 or 6 weeks, and I think that shock period is finally over, and it's all really starting to hit me, and I'm experiencing a lot of things that I think a lot of people deal with every day, whether they're in my position or they're just battling anxiety or depression or anything, and I want to talk about that. Ever since I can remember, I've always been a doer. I identify myself with the things that I do, if that makes sense. So when I was a student at UBC, or I was a waitress at Cactus Club, or I was a brand ambassador for a local kombucha company, or I was on the executive council for my sorority. Whenever you meet somebody new and they ask you, well, what do you do? I had a list of things ready to say, because that's who I am. That's how I identified myself. And now I'm in a position, I'm at Kwantlen University studying public relations, and I love it. I love the program, and I love what I'm learning, but after this whole experience, I'm realizing that I need to take time to myself, because, and I don't even really know what that means, I just know that I can't be stressing about school right now or work right now, because I have so many other things going on in my mind. I think that there's a big flaw in our society today, and just with young people entering the workforce, it's desirable to be busy, and it's looked at as being an achievement if you're doing everything, and if you're working 24/7, and if you're always grinding, and no breaks, that kind of thing. And I do think that's great. I think that should be applauded, and that should be something to be looked at as an achievement. But I also think that we live in a society where if you're not doing everything, you're failing. If you're not working, going to school, doing extracurriculars, all that stuff, well, you're failing. You're not doing everything. And this whole mentality has really caused me to forget what self-care looks like. Because if you're it just seems like it's unacceptable to take a break. And yeah, self-care sometimes looks like one evening putting a face mask on or getting in the bathtub. But it also may look like taking time off school, be it a month, be it 6 months, be it a whole year. It also looks like taking a big chunk of time to yourself and to just sort through your thoughts and become the best version of yourself first, before going back into that busy, busy, busy mentality. And I think with this whole experience, I'm realizing that I'm a completely new person, and I don't know how to navigate this space yet, but I do know that I can't be navigating this new territory while I'm worrying about school all the time. And that's okay. And I think it's okay if someone asks you what you're doing to just say, I'm working on myself. It's okay to not be working and grinding at all hours of the day to secure your career and to secure your future, because none of that is going to be worth it, and none of that is going to even work out if you don't have a solid base built into yourself. I just heard that, and that sounds really cheesy, but I think it's so important to recognize the people who are taking time off and who do take the time to let themselves recharge and to find themselves. Again, cheesy, but so true. And to anybody who's watching and thinking, oh my gosh, this girl has it all together, she's doing so well just a month after this, I think it's important for me to be open about the fact that all of this is so much easier said than done. And yes, I'm sitting here making this video, preaching all of my thoughts and ideas to whoever's watching, but also to myself. I'm still trying to convince myself that it's okay to not be doing anything and that it's okay to take time to myself to get over all of this. Just know that I'm not there yet, and it all sounds really good in this video or in my head, but I'm not even close. But the one thing I am sure of is that I finally accepted my reality, and I finally accepted that this is what I need. And that's what everyone keeps telling me, is the minute that you accept that this is what's happening and you accept that this is what you need and you accept that it's okay to ask for help and it's okay to take time off, then that's the beginning. It's not going to get easier right away, but it's going to become bearable. And yeah, just that it'll be okay. And again, as my counselor and wonderful woman said, we're human beings, not human doings. So to remember just to not identify yourself with what you're doing and identify yourself with who you are, and just be, don't do. And again, easier said than done. I'm still trying to convince myself of this, and it's an effort every day, but to not attach your self-worth to the things that you do. Attach them to who you are as a person. And yeah, that's about it. I knew I wanted to keep this video quite short. I love the Bell Let's Talk campaign, and it's given me the courage to want to open up about what's been happening for myself, but also in the hopes that anybody else who's having a hard time, or anybody else who's dealt with something like this, or who's just having a hard time, maybe will find some kind of peace of mind knowing that they're not alone. Yeah, so thank you for watching if you watched the whole thing, and get involved in the dialogue. Talk about it.